I now have the pleasure of introducing our first speaker. Emerson Jefferey is a son of Margaret and Peter Jefferey and lives in Bar Harbor. Emerson is the consummate, well-rounded student. As a result of his love and aptitude with reading, writing, and speaking the English language, he was chosen as a 2018 MDI High School top scholar, while excelling in all of his academic endeavors. Emerson is also a two-time state champion in his roles in the one-act productions and is an overall beacon of thoughtfulness and positivity. Emerson will continue to explore his creativity and wisdom at the University of Vermont this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Emerson Jefferey.
Good afternoon, everybody. And don't worry, I promise quick. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Emerson Jefferey. And when I was asked to speak to you today, I was immediately excited. As anyone who has spent any time with me at all knows, one of my favorite things to do is to talk to as many people as will listen to me, ideally about a subject that I have no real knowledge in. In other words, I am currently in the ideal situation. A captive audience, an obligation to speak, and a subject that I'm not really qualified to talk about. But as the time crept by and progress on the speech did not, I had to step back for a moment and consider what was holding me back from writing this speech. I realized that for once in my life, I couldn't make things up. This was a real speech for loving and supporting family members, mentors, friends, Taki Ishimura. Yet I had practically no experience, no inspirational stories, or decades of adulthood that I could draw on to give witty anecdotes and whatnot. Now that was where I was wrong. You don't need more experience than someone to give them advice. You just need different experience. So, first, I'd like to speak to the community members, families, and teachers of the graduating class of 2018. First of all, thank you. This has already been said and will be said many more times, but I doubt it will be said enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have done more than we will ever know for us, more than you will ever know, and far more than we will ever care to admit. You all have provided the foundations upon which we will grow. Now, we are in some pretty scary times right now. Whether it's political polarization, rising tensions between countries, or the feeling of deflating economic opportunities, it seems that somehow all of the issues are driven by the great barreling beast of technology. Now here, I'd like to give my first piece of advice. All of you who have nurtured us from childhood, please, please trust our use of technology and social media. It may appear arcane and destructive, but our lives are so integrated with it that we usually know when we're seeing false or biased information. It's as if the internet is written in pencil. It's easily erasable, difficult to trust, and carefully refined to a false perfection. In contrast, our lives and all of your influence is more like the beautiful, improvisational, hand-inked calligraphy. Though the pencil can be refined, its form and purpose changed, the ink will always outlast it. Trust us, and trust the lessons that you have imparted upon us. Now, I'd like to address the graduates. Again, as I feel that I am not qualified to guide you with lessons and anecdotes, I have employed the help of some experts, utilizing the internet. Now, without further ado, I present to you 6 pieces of advice from people far more knowledgeable than I am. 1, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. That was Albert Einstein. 2, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. That was Martin Luther King Jr. 3, if you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. That was Cicero, the Roman politician. 4, whatever you are, be a good one. That's Abraham Lincoln. 5, remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. That was Stephen Hawking. And 6, everyone should do theater at least once in their life. Roles don't change you, they teach you who you are and who you can become. You meet some pretty cool people too. I lied, that last one was actually me. But it is true. You should do theater in your life. I don't think there's anything quite like it. So thank you all for what you've done for me over the years. I absolutely believe that you have formed me into who I am today. And looking around, I see so many people who have changed alongside me. I believe that we have these last 2 decades. Such is progress. Such is life. Its spirit, though, will always stay with us, and we will live on in each other as beautiful, as strong, and as loving as in these final few years. So now we must go forward. I know that I'm terrified. Really, I hope that you are too. I think it's the scariest things that you learn the most from. At least that's what I tell myself in times like this. I know, though, that we will carry a fragment of this community to guide and to comfort us for the rest of our days. And for that, I am eternally grateful. And so, I will leave you with the actual 6th installment of the 6 pieces of advice. And this one is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Go forth into the busy world and love it. Interest yourself in its life, mingle kindly with its joys and sorrows. Thank you again, and live long and prosper.